Do you look out at your yard and wish it had more color, more life, more personality, but you're working with a space that just doesn't seem big enough to do anything meaningful with? I hear you. And today I'm going to completely change the way you think about small space gardening. Because here's the thing most people get wrong. They assume that a small yard means a boring yard. They think the best they can do is throw down some mulch, plant a few annuals, and call it a day. But that couldn't be further from the truth. A small yard isn't a limitation. It's actually an opportunity, a chance to create something intimate, curated, and absolutely breathtaking. And one of the most powerful ways to do that? Flowering shrubs. Today I'm walking you through 7 of the most stunning, most rewarding, and most garden-friendly flowering shrubs you can grow in a compact space. Each one brings something unique to the table, whether it's explosive spring color, incredible fragrance, wildlife value, or year-round structure. And the best part, every single one of these plants is manageable in size, relatively low maintenance, and absolutely gorgeous. Stick around all the way to the end because my number 7 pick is what I call the secret weapon of small garden design. It's the one shrub that landscape designers reach for again and again when they want to make a small yard feel like something truly special. And once I tell you about it, I think you're going to want to plant one immediately. But before we dive in, if you love getting practical, inspiring gardening content delivered straight to you every week, make sure you hit that subscribe button right now and tap the bell icon so you never miss a new video. We've got a passionate community of gardeners here, and we'd love to have you be a part of it. Okay, let's get into it. Number 1. Knockout Rose. Let's start with an absolute classic, and for good reason. The knockout rose is, without question, one of the most popular flowering shrubs in American gardens, and once you understand what it can do, you'll see exactly why. Picture this. From late spring all the way through the first hard frost of autumn, your garden is alive with rich, velvety blooms in shades of cherry red, soft pink, blush, coral, and white. The knockout rose doesn't bloom once and call it a season. It blooms in continuous waves, cycling through flush after flush of flowers for months on end. In a small yard, that kind of extended color is pure gold. Now, what really sets the knockout rose apart from traditional roses aside from the stunning blooms is its toughness. Traditional roses have a reputation for being finicky. They need precise pruning schedules, they're prone to black spot and powdery mildew, and they can feel like a full-time job. Knockout roses throw all of that out the window. They were specifically bred for disease resistance, and they deliver on that promise in a big way. You won't be spending your weekends spraying fungicides or fretting over every spotted leaf. In terms of size, most knockout rose varieties grow to about 4 to 6 feet tall and wide, which makes them a perfect mid-size anchor for a small garden bed. They can be used as a low, informal hedge along a walkway, planted as a colorful border along a fence, or showcased as a standalone specimen in a raised bed or container. Care is wonderfully simple. Plant them in a spot with at least 6 hours of direct sunlight. They love the sun, and the more they get, the more they bloom. Water them at the base rather than overhead to keep the foliage dry and healthy. A light pruning in early spring to remove any dead wood and shape the plant is really all the maintenance they need. Top dress with a slow-release fertilizer in spring and they'll reward you all season long. Here's a design tip I love. Pair a deep red knockout rose with ornamental grasses and silver-leafed plants like Dusty Miller. The contrast between the rich blooms and the cool, silvery textures creates a combination that looks deliberately designed and absolutely stunning. So, quick question for you: if you were adding a knockout rose to your yard, which color would you reach for first? The bold cherry red, the romantic soft pink, or maybe the airy white? Drop your answer in the comments. I'd love to see what style you're working with. Number 2. Spirea. If you've ever driven through a neighborhood in late spring and noticed a shrub absolutely covered, and I mean covered in tiny flowers that make the whole plant look like a cloud of color, there's a good chance you were looking at a spirea. Spirea is one of those shrubs that earns its space in a small yard 10 times over. It's compact, it's hardy, it's carefree, and when it blooms, it is genuinely show-stopping. Depending on the variety, you'll get flowers in white, pink, or deep rose. The bridal wreath spirea puts on one of the most dramatic early spring displays of any shrub in the garden, its arching branches lined with cascades of pure white flowers from tip to tip. The dwarf varieties like Little Princess or Gold Flame stay tidy at just 2 to 3 feet, making them perfect for the front of a border or edging along a path. But here's what really makes spirea a standout for small yards. It's not just a one-act show. Many varieties offer exceptional foliage color beyond the blooms. Gold Flame spirea, for example, emerges in spring with vivid orange-gold leaves, matures to lime green in summer, then turns brilliant orange-red again in fall. That's 3 seasons of color from a single 3-foot plant. In a small space, that kind of multi-season performance is exactly what you want. Spireas are incredibly adaptable. They grow well in full sun to partial shade, tolerate a wide range of soil types as long as drainage is decent, and once established, they're quite drought tolerant. Pruning is easy, just a light trim after flowering to keep the shape tidy and encourage a second flush of blooms on certain varieties. Landscaping tip: use low-growing spirea varieties as a living border along the edge of a driveway or garden path. A row of Little Princess spirea in full bloom creates a ribbon of pink that defines your space beautifully and draws the eye right where you want it. Number 3. Hydrangea. If there is one shrub that can make a small yard feel genuinely lush, full, and sophisticated, it's the hydrangea. There's just something about those enormous globe-shaped blooms in shades of blue, purple, pink, and white that makes a garden feel complete. They have this romantic, almost cottage garden quality that's incredibly hard to replicate with any other plant. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. Hydrangeas can get big. And yes, some species can grow quite large. But here's the good news. There is an absolutely wonderful selection of compact hydrangea varieties designed perfectly for smaller spaces, and they deliver every bit of the drama of their larger cousins. Bobo hydrangea is one of my personal favorites for small yards. It typically stays around 3 feet tall and wide, but it produces those classic white panicle blooms in abundance, transitioning from creamy white to soft pink as the season progresses. Tiny Tough Stuff is another great one, a mountain hydrangea variety that stays under 3 feet and produces delicate lace cap flowers that are just gorgeous. And of course, the classic Endless Summer series of big leaf hydrangeas offers those iconic blue and pink mop head blooms in a manageable size, with the added bonus of reblooming throughout the season. One of the most unique things about certain hydrangea varieties is that you can actually influence their bloom color based on your soil chemistry. In acidic soil, big leaf hydrangeas produce those stunning blue and purple tones. In more alkaline soil, the same plant will bloom in pink. It's like having a garden experiment built right into your landscape. Care-wise, hydrangeas appreciate a spot with morning sun and afternoon shade, especially in warmer climates where intense afternoon heat can stress them. They like consistent moisture and rich, well-draining soil. A layer of mulch around the base helps retain moisture and keeps the roots cool. Pruning requirements vary by species, so it's worth knowing which type you have before you start cutting, but many modern varieties are quite forgiving. Design tip: tuck a hydrangea into a shaded corner that feels dead and forgotten. That spot that's been an eyesore because nothing seems to grow there, a shade-tolerant hydrangea can transform it into a focal point that people stop to admire. So, here's my question for you. Are you Team Blue hydrangea, or do you prefer the warm pink tones? Let me know in the comments. This is one of those debates that really gets the gardening community going, and I love reading your thoughts. Number 4, butterfly bush. Here's a shrub that doesn't just give you beautiful flowers, it turns your garden into a living ecosystem. The butterfly bush, or buddleia, produces long, arching flower spikes in purple, lavender, pink, white, and deep magenta, and those blooms are absolutely irresistible to butterflies, bees, and hummingbirds. I want you to picture something. It's a warm July afternoon. You're sitting on your patio with a cold drink, and your butterfly bush is in full bloom. Within minutes, there are swallowtails, monarchs, painted ladies, and bumblebees working every flower spike in sight. That's not just gardening. That's creating a living, breathing habitat right in your own backyard, and it happens almost effortlessly. The butterfly bush blooms from midsummer well into fall, which makes it a critical player in keeping your garden colorful during those late season months when many other shrubs have already finished their show. The flower spikes are long, sometimes 8 to 12 inches, and they have a light, honey-sweet fragrance that's just lovely on a summer evening. Now, for small yards, it's important to choose the right variety. Traditional butterfly bushes can get quite large, but modern compact cultivars like Lo Behold, Pugster, and Tiny Tortoiseshell are specifically bred for smaller spaces, typically staying in the 3 to 4 foot range. These newer varieties also tend to produce significantly less seed than older types, addressing the invasive concerns that gave butterfly bush a complicated reputation in some regions. Butterfly bushes love full sun and well-drained soil, and they're remarkably drought-tolerant once established. Cut them back hard in early spring down to about 12 inches, and they'll bounce back vigorously with a fresh flush of growth and blooms. Deadheading spent flower spikes throughout the season encourages continuous blooming and keeps the plant looking tidy. Here's a design idea you'll love. Plant a compact butterfly bush as the centerpiece of a pollinator garden. Surround it with purple coneflowers, black-eyed Susans, and lavender, and you'll have a wildlife magnet that looks absolutely stunning and does real ecological good. Number 5. Forsythia. Before I describe this shrub, I want you to think back to early spring. The trees are still bare, the lawn is brown and flat. Winter still has its grip on everything, and then out of nowhere a burst of pure electric yellow lights up the landscape. That's Forsythia, and in a small yard that desperately needs color after a long winter, nothing delivers that first punch of joy quite like it. Forsythia blooms on bare branches in very early spring, often before any other woody plant in the garden has even thought about budding out. The flowers are small and four-petaled, but they appear in such abundance, covering every single branch from top to bottom, that the effect is dazzling. It's one of those sights that genuinely makes you feel hopeful about the season ahead. For small yards, compact varieties are the way to go. New Gold Forsythia is a wonderful choice, staying under 3 feet tall with a graceful, mounding habit. Meadowlark is a bit larger but extremely cold-hardy, making it a great option for northern gardeners. Happy Centennial stays very dwarf and tidy, perfect for a small front garden or mixed border. After the flowers fade, Forsythia produces fresh green foliage that provides decent structure through summer and fall. Some varieties offer pleasant fall color as well, giving you a second moment of interest before the plant goes dormant for winter. Forsythia is one of the toughest shrubs you can grow. It tolerates cold, adapts to most soil types, and isn't particularly fussy about sun, though it blooms most dramatically in full sun. The main care tip: prune right after flowering, never in fall or early spring, because Forsythia sets its flower buds on old wood. Cut it at the wrong time, and you'll lose next year's blooms. Landscaping tip: plant a compact Forsythia near a window that you look out of every morning in late winter. When February feels endless, having that pop of yellow outside your kitchen window is genuinely uplifting. Trust me on this one. Number 6. Weigela. If you want a shrub that offers big, bold flower power without demanding a lot of space or attention, Weigela deserves a serious look. This shrub produces trumpet-shaped flowers in rich shades of red, pink, hot pink, and white, and it blooms generously in late spring to early summer with a reliable second flush later in the season. The tubular flowers are also magnets for hummingbirds, which is a wonderful bonus. What makes Weigela especially valuable for small yards is that modern varieties are not only compact, they also offer exceptional foliage that earns its keep long after the flowers are gone. Varieties like wine roses feature deep burgundy purple leaves that create stunning contrast with the hot pink blooms. My Monet offers variegated green and white leaves edged with pink, making it look like a piece of living art even when not in flower. Spilled wine grows in a low, spreading mound that works beautifully as a ground cover on a slope, or at the front of a border. Most compact Weigela varieties stay in the 2 to 4 foot range, making them incredibly easy to work with in a small space. They're adaptable to partial shade, though they bloom most heavily in full sun. Soil requirements are flexible, they just want decent drainage and a reasonable amount of moisture. Pruning is simple. Give them a light shaping right after the mainspring bloom to encourage a tidy shape and promote that second flush of flowers. Beyond that, they're largely self-sufficient. Here's a design combination that I think is absolutely spectacular. Pair a dark foliaged Weigela, like wine roses, with a chartreuse-leaved plant, like golden spirea, or a lime green hosta. The contrast between deep purple and electric lime green is bold, sophisticated, and unlike anything a beginner would think to try, but it works brilliantly. So tell me, would you go for the dramatic dark foliage varieties or the more classic green-leafed types? There's no wrong answer, but I find that gardeners usually have a very strong opinion one way or the other. Number 7. Flowering quince. And here we are, my number 7 pick, my secret weapon for small yard transformations. And if you haven't tried flowering quince yet, I genuinely believe this is the shrub that's going to change your gardening life. Here's what flowering quince does that nothing else can quite replicate. In late winter to very early spring sometimes, while there's still frost on the ground, this shrub explodes into bloom. Before a single leaf appears, the bare branches become absolutely smothered in stunning flowers. Depending on the variety, those blooms range from fiery scarlet and tangerine orange to soft salmon, coral, pure white, and candy apple red. The effect is like watching a fireworks display in your garden in the dead of winter. It is, without exaggeration, breathtaking. But flowering quince doesn't stop there. What makes this shrub a true four-season performer is how much it offers beyond those spectacular early blooms. After the flowers, fresh green leaves emerge, giving the shrub a neat, attractive appearance through spring and summer. Some varieties have particularly glossy leaves that catch the light beautifully. Then, in fall, the plant produces small, fragrant, golden yellow fruit edible quinces that add yet another layer of interest. And in winter, when the leaves have fallen, the architectural branching pattern stands strong and sculptural against the sky, waiting patiently to put on next year's show. Why is flowering quince so perfect for a small yard? Because it is genuinely compact without sacrificing any of its impact. Most varieties grow in the 3 to 5 foot range, and there are dwarf selections like Double Take Scarlet or Texas Scarlet that stay even smaller and more tidy. Unlike some shrubs that get leggy or sprawling over time, flowering quince maintains a naturally dense, rounded habit that doesn't require constant corrective pruning to keep looking good. Now let's talk about care, because this is where flowering quince really shines. It is one of the most low-maintenance shrubs you will ever grow. It thrives in full sun to partial shade, adapts to a remarkably wide range of soil types including poor, clay-heavy soils that would defeat most other flowering shrubs, and once established, it is genuinely drought-tolerant. It laughs at cold winters. It shakes off heat. It doesn't ask for much and gives you an extraordinary amount in return. Pruning is simple. The key, just like forsythia, is to prune right after flowering, since flowering quince also blooms on old wood. A light trim to shape the plant and remove any crossing or crowded branches is all it takes. Every few years you can do a more substantial rejuvenation pruning to keep it fresh and vigorous, cut the oldest stems back to the ground, and the plant will respond with enthusiastic new growth. Here's a landscaping idea that I love more than almost anything else in small yard design. Plant a flowering quince against a weathered wooden fence or a stone wall. The contrast between those vivid, almost tropical-looking blooms and the rough, rustic texture behind them creates a composition that looks like it belongs in an art gallery. Add a simple iron or wooden trellis, let a few of the branches weave through it loosely, and you've got something truly extraordinary. Another wonderful use for flowering quince is as an informal hedge or screen. Plant 3 or 4 plants in a staggered line along a property border, let them grow together naturally, and you'll have a dense, living screen that gives you privacy in summer and a jaw-dropping floral display in late winter and early spring. And here's something most people don't know. flowering quince-cut branches make absolutely stunning indoor arrangements. Bring a few stems inside in late January or February, put them in a vase with water, and within days those blooms will open right there on your kitchen table. It's called forcing, and it's one of the most delightful gardening tricks you can pull, when everything outside is gray and cold and the gardening catalogs are the only thing keeping you going. Having a vase of vivid quince blossoms on your counter is an act of pure joy. Now I want to ask you something. Before today, had you ever considered flowering quince for your yard? For so many gardeners, this is one of those plants that somehow flies under the radar, overshadowed by more famous spring bloomers like azaleas or cherry trees. But I genuinely believe that anyone who plants one and experiences that first late winter bloom becomes a flowering quince devotee for life. So there you have it, 7 extraordinary flowering shrubs that prove, once and for all, that a small yard is no excuse for a boring garden. Every single one of these shrubs is manageable in size, rewarding in terms of seasonal beauty, and forgiving enough for gardeners of any experience level. Whether you're a complete beginner or a seasoned grower looking to level up your small space game, I genuinely believe that one or more of these plants has the power to transform the way your yard looks, feels, and makes you feel every single day. Now I want to hear from you. Which of these 7 shrubs spoke to you the most? Which one are you rushing out to find at your local garden center? Drop your top pick in the comments below, and if there's a flowering shrub you love that didn't make my list, tell me about it. I read every single comment, and I'm always looking for ideas for future videos. If you found this helpful or inspiring, please give this video a thumbs up. It truly makes a difference in helping more gardeners find this content. And if you haven't subscribed yet, now is the perfect time. Hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you're the first to know when new garden inspiration drops every week. Until next time, keep growing, keep experimenting, and never stop adding more beauty to your corner of the world. I'll see you in the next one.